Hello everyone, my name is Angelica and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will share my 8 favorite IKEA hacks and flips which I've created on this channel. There will be many of small and big changes, from adding just extra details to the item to changing its purpose completely. We all love IKEA for its simplicity, which gives us a wide range of opportunities to show off. And before I jump to my first project, make sure to give this video a thumb up. This will tell me that you enjoy IKEA hacks and want to see more of them in the future. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any of my future uploads. And now let's do some flips. For the first IKEA flip, I will change the look of this basic flower pot. This pot is quite pretty by itself, but I want to give it more of the boho vibe. I take 3mm macrame cord and wrap it a few times around the pot on its top part. I cut it off and tie both ends together. I cut a piece of cardboard which will help me to create same size tassels. And using the same cord, I start wrapping it around this cardboard piece. More times you wrap it, the thicker and fully looking tassel you will get. I count how many ties I've wrapped, so each tassel will be same size. I cut the string off and remove it from the cardboard. I cut short piece off and tie all the cords together. Then I cut another piece and this time I wrap it around the cords, about 2 cm below the top. I wrap it around a few times and secure with knots. I cut the bottom and open all the loops. I trim them all to the same length. Altogether, I've created 6 tassels. To attach them to the pot, I'm using hot glue. I spread them evenly around the pot. To create a new top for my stool, I start with taking the measurements. This project can be done on any size and shape of stool. My top measures 31 × 31 centimeters. I draw the sketch on a piece of paper to understand how much of the fabric I will need. I've decided to divide this square into 7 equal long sections, but this will depend on your own preferences, how thick you want the tubes to be. 31 centimeters divided by 7 tells me how thick each pipe has to be. To create the cushion top for my stool, I will be using this IKEA fleece blanket. And to make each tube nice and cushiony, I will stuff them with the pillow filler. I place the fabric flat and measure the piece I have to cut out. As I measured before, each pipe is going to be about 4.4 centimeters wide. So I doubled this number and added few extra centimeters for the sewing part, which came out to 11 centimeters altogether. When it comes to the length, I have to cut each piece about 50 centimeters long. 30 centimeters just to cover the top and extra centimeters to be able to wrap it around the stool. I double check with the stool if that's enough of the fabric and then cut 14 pieces of them. To create the pipe shape, I will be sewing 2 long edges together. I fold the fabric in half and using simple stitch I always sew them. If you have and know how to use sewing machine, you can make this process so much easier and quicker. I take one end of the fabric and turn it inside out. I want the stitches to be inside of the pipe. Once this is done, I take the pillow filler and start filling the pipe up, small sections at a time. I make sure I spread it evenly throughout the whole length. Using sander, I sand down the wooden part of the stool, giving it more modern look. I place the rest of the fabric flat on the floor and put the stool upside down on it. I want to cover the red leather look. I make it slightly bigger than the stool, and using staple gun I staple it to the bottom of my stool. I make sure it covers nicely the whole surface. I've placed 7 pipes next to the stool with the stitches facing down. And using again the same gun, I attach one by one to the bottom of the stool. With my other 7 pipes, I attach them to the stool the same way to the adjacent edge. I pull 7 pipes over the top part of the stool. Then I take one pipe from the other edge and go alternately above and under the other pipes. Once I've reached the other edge, I staple it, and I repeat the process with all the pipes. To give more life to this plain wine cushion cover, I've collected few different colors and thicknesses of the yarn. I start with measuring how long I need each piece of yarn to be, plus I add few centimeters to it. I cut few pieces in all colors. I start with collecting and mixing 4 individual strings. I collect them and then twist them. And to attach the twisted yarn to the cushion cover, I use fabric glue. I make long and straight line. Using pencil and ruler, I mark small dots under and above the string. I keep about 1 centimeter gap between each dot. These dots are just a guide to where to go with the needle. I take 2 mm macrame cord and start wrapping it around the yarn. I go from the inside around the yarn and back in from the top. And I repeat the process going through each dot I've created. As it was quite hard to pull the macrame cord through this fabric, I came up with the idea of making these holes bigger with the thick waving needle. I just push the needle slightly through each dot and then continue with my sewing. And to make this process even quicker, I go through 2 holes at the same time. This project is inspired by the doormat from Anthropology. I've got this plain basic mat for about £4 from IKEA. This mat measures 60 times 40 centimeters. I want to place the word hello exactly in the middle, so I calculate where this point is. To create same size letters, the best way would be to use stencils. I don't have any, so I've decided to create my own templates out of the paper. I only make sure each letter is the same height and width. To paint the design, I will be using oil paints. I think they will be the most durable. I secure each letter with the pin, and using white paint and brush I mark the edges around the letter. At first I do it quickly just to see the lines. Then I move the pin to the next letter and repeat the process, keeping same size gap between each letter. I'm going along the lines again, making them thicker and more visible. It's quite time-consuming process as the surface of the mat is rough and uneven. It takes a while to paint it. The best way is to tap the brush down rather than trying to paint straight lines. Once the word hello is finished, I can focus on the rest of the design. I will be painting one color of the flower at a time. I paint the flowers in random places, and they are also very simple design. I've painted all the flowers and then moved to the leaves and stalks. Again, random shapes in random places. After a few days of drying, as this is how long it takes oil paint to dry, I've protected it with double layer of clear varnish in spray. For my next project, I will change the look of the lampshade, which goes with the basic IKEA black table lamp. I start with removing the old fabric and clean it. This lampshade consists of two parts. For the first part, I cut few pieces of macrame cord, each one 70 centimeters long. I fold it in half and attach to the top ring by creating lark's head knot. This design is very easy and you don't even need macrame skills. I take one loose cord at a time and I wrap it around the ring below. I always wrap it the same way, so the design is nice and tidy. First section is ready and I'm going to repeat this process all around. For the bigger section, I've decided to tie one end of the cord to the metal part and keeping it on the reel. I wrap it all around this section. I stop on each metal part and wrap the cord around it. When the hole became too small for the reel, I cut few meters of the cord and continue wrapping it this way. Once I reach the end, I tie the end to the metal wire. I take the loose cords from the top section and pull them through the middle section. Then I wrap each individual cord around the wire. To fill up the gaps, I cut short pieces of cord and attach them to the bottom with lark's head knot. I untwisted all of the cords and trimmed them to the same length. To create boho looking hanging basket, I will be using two of these IKEA baskets. I'm going to attach the macrame cord to the basket in 4 places to make it more stable. I've cut 8 pieces of cord, each one 450 centimeters long. I collect all cords together, fold them in half and attach to the wooden ring with lark's head knot. I divide all cords into 4 equal sections. I'm looking for the holes which are big enough to pull the rope through, and going from the inside of the basket I pull the cords through. To secure it in place, I make simple knot under the basket. To make sure basket is level, I measure the first distance and then transfer it to the other 3. Between 2 baskets, I want to create some macrame design. I'm going for very simple spiral knot. It's very repetitive knot, just remember to always start it from the same side. If you are new to macrame, I will leave the link to my other video where I explain all the basic macrame knots. When I'm in the halfway of my design, I put 1 wooden bit for extra detail and then carry on with the spiral knot. I've created the same design on all 4 lengths, and now I'm going to attach the second basket. I put 2 baskets together and mark the holes for my rope and then pull it through and secure it with the knot. This project is quick to make, it only requires special tools. I'm going to transform this metal lantern into kitchen lampshade. To be able to hang it down, I have to change the order of those 2 parts. To create lampshade out of the lantern, all I need is the hole for the lighting fixture. I'm looking for the center and mark it. To drill nice round hole in this kind of material, you will need hole saw for metal. I check the size I need and attach it to the drill and slowly drill the hole. After a few seconds of drilling, the hole is ready. Please be careful as the cut metal might be sharp. I clean it and put the other part back on it. For next project, I will be actually using 2 IKEA products, cork heat pot stand and seagrass table runner. I start with taking the middle part of the embroidery hoop and trace its shape onto the cork. Using sharp knife, I cut the shape out. First, I have to cut off the beginning of the runner as it's much thicker than the rest. Now the seagrass is not secured, so I have to tie it back. I take few loose pieces off, making the thread longer and secure it with double knots. With the tailoring tape, I measure the length around the inside hook, and I move this measurement onto the mat. the height stays secured, but to cut at the end I have to add few centimeters extra and then cut it. Once the knots are done, I cut off the excess thread. I take the inside hoop and wrap the mat around it. Then I take outside hoop and place it outside the mat so the mat stays secured between two hoops. I take cork circle and place it inside. It will create the base of the vase, like also keep the whole construction stronger. And for the top part I do the same thing using the second hoop. Let me know in the comment section which project was your favorite. I like the most the ones when I change completely the purpose of the items, but sometimes it's not as easy to come up with the idea as it might look like. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to smash that like button and check my other DIY home decor projects. And for now, thank you so much for watching, your support, and I'll see you in my next video.